Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So yesterday I did a poll to see which deck I should update next, and by popular choice, Lair of Darkness ended up being the one that won the poll. So for today, I'm presenting you guys an update on my Lair of Darkness deck. I made some changes here and there and just kind of wanted to experiment with some other cards, and I felt like this was the way I enjoyed playing it the most. So anyway, I figured I should just show you what I got this time around. Alright, so starting off with the main deck, of course, going to be playing 3 copies of Lilith. She's your main starter mainly. You contribute any dark monster, even herself, reveal 3 normal trap cards, and your opponent has to pick one at random, and you get to set that card. So basically, she's trap trick, only you can't activate it on the same turn, but either way, it just helps you get all your traps to your field as quickly as you can. Next, 3 Arima, it's your terraforming. You ditch this to your grave and you can add Lair of Darkness to your hand. Also, if it's on the field, you contribute 1 dark monster, and you can either draw 1 card or you can search and add any dark monster with 2,000 or less defense. So, or 2,000 or more defense, I'm sorry, not less. But yeah, definitely a good way to add your Darkest Diabolus, which comes to our next card, Darkest Diabolus. So I'm only playing this at 2 rather than 3, mainly because I'm running some new tech choices. But whenever a dark monster is distributed that you control, you can special summon this from hand or grave. Also, you can tribute 1 dark monster, and your opponent has to basically lose 1 card from his hand, and the other has to go to the top or the bottom of his deck. Next, for one of our new tech choices, Chaos Dragon Legionnaire. Sadly, I can't really search it unless I had Melody of the Awakening Dragon in this deck, but I didn't have the room for it. You banish 3 dark monsters, and you get to basically shuffle 1 card from your opponent's hand back to the field or back into his deck. So it's just a good way to just make your opponent lose more advantage. But luckily, my deck has plenty of draw power, so most of the time I always somehow draw into it, or even lucky enough to open up with it. So yeah, pretty good. From here on out, it's just some one-ofs. I got 1 Jurgato. Definitely helps, just to get some life point advantage, and also tribute. So 1 tour guide. Definitely need to get your Lilith out as quickly as you can, or Scarm if you already have a Lilith. 1 Destrudo. Blackwing Sting the Cloak, of course. And then for our other choices, I got 1 Dark Grepher. Definitely a good way to get a free summon out. Also helps to ditch any of your dark monsters at the grave. And then lastly, 1 Armageddon Knight. And for hand traps, the only ones I'm running are just 2 copies of Ash. Alright, sorry guys, my voice is a little dry right now. And that's pretty much it for monsters. Alright, so now moving on to the spells and traps. Of course, you're going to be playing 3 copies of Lair of Darkness. It's got an amazing effect, turns everything on the field into dark monsters, and at the end of every turn you have to produce torment tokens equal to the number of monsters that were tributed, and depending on whose turn it was, it goes on whoever's side of the field. So if it was your turn, the tokens go to your side. If it was your opponent's turn, you have to give it to him. And of course, this card enables you to tribute dark monsters on your opponent's side of the field as well. 1 terraforming, since we already got 3 Arimas, I think 1's just fine. 2 Super Poly, since the entire deck is dark, you might as well just play this and get Starting Venom out. 1 Rhoda, Dragon Shrine, Foolish Burial, and then lastly Monster Reborn. And now moving on to the traps. For the only 3 of I'm running are Reckless Greed, just for the draw power. I was going to play Lair of Darkness, but then I realized I don't really want to banish any of my cards, so Reckless Greed is just as good. And plus, if you happen to pull off all 3 of them, especially during your draw phase, you get 7 cards, and that's just broken right there. 3 back to the front for more revival, because again, you definitely need to make full use of Lilith as best as you can. 2 Eradicators. You could run this at 3 if you so choose. I think 2 is just fine, since, the meta might shift soon, and depending on how it is, back row might not be as affected as well as we think, but again, it just depends on how the meta shifts now that the new balance is coming up. So that's why I'm just kind of experimenting with this a little bit more. 2 Ballista Squad, tribute 1 monster, then target 1 card your opponent controls to pop it. So basically its own Twin Twisters. And then double Lost Wind for Disruption. and it's permanent negation and attack decretion, so definitely great. Alright, so now moving on to the extra deck. I'm playing one Beakop, just because she can add built-in protection for your Lair of Darkness, and it's not hard to summon her in her correct, like with 2 different dark monsters, so yeah, there's just no reason not to pull that off. 2 Wee Witches, you know, definitely need to get rid of those tokens because they like to stack up pretty quickly. I also got Power Code Talker just because he requires 3 monsters, and his ability Tribute, so hey, the more tributing the better, and I can always get Darkus Diabolus out as 1 Topologic Bomber Dragon. Since you're going to be summoning out tokens a lot, Bomber Dragon's just a good way to nuke your opponent's board. That way it keeps him from using the tokens that you provide for him. 1 Avermax. I mean, come on. Y'all knew this was coming. For the Xyz, I'm playing 1 Leviair the Sea Dragon. Since, you know, at times, if I lose any banishment cards, you know, if any of my cards do end up getting banished, or especially with Chaos Dragon, Leviair, and Air, I can always bring them back with Leviair the Sea Dragon. 1 number 38, definitely need to be able to negate spells. Erratic Sun Dragon, basically can nuke your opponent's board if you time it correctly. For Synchros, I got 1 Quantum Dragon, 1 FA Dawn Dragster, and Dark Strike Fighter. So definitely want to be able to burn your opponent for damage too, so it's pretty good for time rolls. And for my Super Poly targets, got Starving Venom, as well as Violet Chimera. Now these last 2 cards I have right here are actually Awakening the Dragon targets. So I got 1 Ultimate Falcon, and 1 Super Heavy Samurai Steam Train King. Waking the Dragon's on my side deck, so don't worry. You're probably going to wonder, like, where's Waking the Dragon? I didn't see it. For the side deck, playing triple Pankratops. Figured why not. Evenly matched. A new tech choice. 1 Chain Hole. So the way this card works is like whenever your opponent activates a monster effect in response to a card or effect, and a lot of decks these days rely on monster effects now. You negate your opponent's effect, and then your opponent can banish 1 card from his hand or their deck with the same original name. And if they choose not to, then you could banish 1 random card from their hand. So it's another good way just to keep ripping cards out of your opponent's hand regardless. So either way, this card is a neg. 2 Waking the Dragon, 2 Heavy Storm Duster, and then 2 copies of Paleozoic Dino Mysticus. Figured, you know, the more disruption, the better. But anyway, that's pretty much it for the side deck. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and I'll catch you guys on the combo video.